Hello, everyone, and welcome to Make a Movie at Home. So, this is the first session for summer 2020, and just as we're coming into the summer holidays, I want to show you all about how you could make a movie. This could be for the end of the year or even all the way through the summer. It's a great, fun way to enjoy technology, to use it responsibly, and to learn an awful lot. So, what do we need to do to make a movie? Well, it's not just getting your camera and pressing record. There are actually a lot of different steps. They're not very difficult. You just have to make sure you do all of them so that you can make a really good movie. The first thing you have to do is you have to have an idea. Now, the idea is so important that I've made another video all about it. So if you go onto my channel or if you check it, you will find a video all on ideas. So I want you to watch that because that's really important so we know what ideas we're going to use. Then the second thing we do is we create a storyboard. Now, I want you to imagine that someone is a really good artist, and that someone's going to be you because you're going to be doing it. Or if you're in a group, you can pick who the best person is, or you can all do it together. So you can see there are so many different opportunities for people. And what a storyboard is a series of pictures, and it's the main parts of a story. So if you've ever written a story and the teacher says, what is the story about in a few sentences, if we have to summarize it, or if you've had to put the pictures in order, that's what a storyboard is. In your storyboard, you're going to show things like what the people are wearing, where they are, what they're saying, what they're doing, and where they're going. So it's kind of like someone took a camera out during the movie and took a picture of what's happening. But instead of it being a photo, it is a picture that you have drawn. So if you're really good at art, it's a really good chance to show how good you are. And if you're kind of worried, oh, I'm not that good at art, don't worry, because it's you that will be using it, so you'll know exactly what you have to do. And remember, this is a great way to improve on your art, and you can do the little details which make all the difference. The next part is a script. I'm sure you've all done dramas in school where you've had to learn your lines, and a script is no different to that. The only difference with a movie script is that you have to give directions. You have to say, garden, daytime. Rory walks from the big tree over to the football goals. When he reaches the goals, he turns his head backwards and screams. Now I know what I have to do. Do I need any more for that? Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Then we do the obvious bit where we get our camera, we hit record, and we start making the magic. We make our movie. After that, we bring it back, we open one of our apps, which is going to be iMovie or Filmora Go, and again, there's an entire video on how to film and edit your movie. And we bring all of our different clips together. You have to do all 5 to make the movie as good as you can make it. Once you're finished with editing, what do? We start again on another movie. So it goes round in a circle. You can do it on anything you want. Again, just watch my ideas video and you'll get a great idea. And this can be for any age. You could have a brother, a sister, a friend, mom, dad, your granny, your granddad, anyone around helping you in it. It's from ages 1 to 100. What do we need to make a movie? This isn't an exact list, and what I mean by that is you could change it around a little bit, but these are the main things you will need. You're going to need a phone or a tablet, and that has to have a camera on it to record the video. Now, these are going to be a set of clips, so you're going to have to make sure you have storage on the camera or on the phone or on the tablet so that it can store it, so it can save the video for you. You're going to need costumes. You're going to need to dress up, unless you're just being you. You're going to need paper for your storyboards, to write down your ideas, for your shot list. You're going to have to pick a location. Where is the movie going to happen? Even you can't just say your house. Well, where in the house? The sitting room, the kitchen, your bedroom. And if you're using one of those, do you have to clean it up? Do you have to move things around so you can use it? Do you have to make more space? Do you have to make sure maybe none of your toys are in the way? Little things like that. You have to make sure your location is right before you start filming. You need your props. If I'm going to play football, I'm going to need a football. Maybe I need goals, and if I don't have goals, maybe I need 2 jumpers to make it look like goals. Maybe I'm going to need a teddy to stand in goals for me. I might need my football gloves. I might need my football boots. All of these are props. They're extra bits to add to the movie. And obviously the last one then is an idea. You need to know what your film is about. If we're making an animation, you might need Lego characters or toys or pen and paper. But again, like the other ones, there's a separate video all on that to show you how to make animation, which in my opinion is one of the best things you can do. So, an idea makes a movie. Without an idea, you don't have a movie. It needs to be thought out. You need to figure out what you are doing in your movie. You can't just say, I'm going to play a game of football. Okay, well, what's the first thing that happens in the game? What's the fifth? What's the last? When they score, where's the ball going to go? Is the goalie going to dive? Is it not going to dive? Are we going to see the ball going into the net or the person kicking the ball or both? Is the camera going to be behind the goals? Is it going to be beside the person shooting? All of these things have to be decided. So there's a lot of thought going into it. That's why you need to develop your ideas. It can't just be, he's going to score a goal. You need to give lots of information. And write it all down in case you forget it. If, like me, you're always going, what was that again? You need to write it down. So the first thing we might do is we might brainstorm. So we have an idea and we go, how will we use this? What do I have that I could use? So I'm going to make it on a football match and I'm going to do it outside. Am I going to have the dressing rooms beforehand? Am I going to have 2 teams or 1? Am I going to be in it? Am I going to get my friends or is it just me? We have to figure all of these things out. We think of something we would like to do it on. Maybe we're going to do it on the 1916 Rising. That's something maybe we're interested in. We did it in school or the Titanic or something like that. But you have to think about your location. How could I make a video on the Titanic if I don't live near the sea or near a huge ship? How could I make it look like I'm there? What area around my house could I use for it? Is there someone else in the house that might be working, or if I'm making lots of noise, they won't be able to do their work? So maybe I can't use that location. So think what you have around you, what actors, what people you have to do it with. Now, our storyboard. Our storyboard is broken into different boxes, and it shows all that's happening. Sometimes it shows the different types of shots. Again, all of the shots, that's the next. You're going to watch this one first, which is your introduction, then your ideas, then the different types of shots. And the different types of shots makes a movie interesting. For example, right now, you've got a shot of me that just comes just below my shoulders. If I move the camera right back, you could see my entire body. Or if I come right in, you've got a more close-up of my face. There's lots of different shots. We could take one from behind me, an over-the-shoulder shot. We could go like this, and suddenly we're taking different shots of different areas. So, are we going to include those in our storyboard? Are we going to show what they look like? Look at the pictures there that are examples. Have they shown different shots? Well, if we look down here at the bottom one, where it says cafe, number 1 we can see is a close-up because it's just his face. Number 2 is a wider shot where we see more and we see people in the background. Number 3 then is the mid-range shot like I'm doing right now. So it does show the different shots. It all depends on what you want to add into it. It's kind of like a comic strip, except there's not too much of a narrator or a story in the background. Your picture tells the story for you. It's a plan before you start your movie. And it's also a checklist after you've finished your movie to make sure you have all of it in it. The details are key. If I know I'm meant to be wearing my red jumper, in the storyboard, the picture is going to be red on it. If I have got my helmet on for cycling in the storyboard, I know when I go to do that scene that I need to bring my helmet with me. So as much detail as you can add into it makes it much better when you're using it. And again, you see here that they have colored in the different outfits they're wearing. You can see how the same character appears in a few different places from the color of their clothes. You can see how the hair is the same. Some of them have a background. Some of them have words written. Others have different shots. Some have some of the props in it. And this is one that's a great example of what can be done. There are also 18 different ones in it. So this is quite a long movie. It includes the directions, what the person is doing, and what they're meant to do and say. So it gives you a great idea of what's going on, and it shows the person has really planned out their movie. When they go to film it, there will be no surprises. Your script. Now, you may do some work on this with your teacher, and this will help you to write a script. It is different to a story. If you look on the internet, or if your teacher gives you an example of a script, you could maybe tell me a few ways that a script is different to a story, and a story is different to a script. You could tell me which gives you more information if you were doing it, and which you prefer. It'll include the direction, speech, and locations. And it can include emotions, facial expressions, and movements. What I mean by that is it might say, Rory screams. His face looks very angry as his eyes glare at the person across the room. He then storms across, stamping his feet as he goes, and slams the door behind him. There we've got my emotions, my facial expressions, and my movements, all in direction. I didn't say anything, but I was given the direction so I know what to do. Think of all your favorite movies and stories. What do they include? Think of books you like. Is that a script? Would you be able to make the story based on it, or are you making it from the picture you have in your head from reading the book? So you have to think about this, because if it's a new idea and a new story, everyone else might not be able to follow it, even if you can. You also need a script because sometimes it takes more than one shot to make it in a movie. So if I'm saying in the movie, little pig, let me in. All I want us to do is to come in and talk to you. And the person who's filming it says, that was great, but can you say it again? I'm going to change to a different camera angle. And I say, let me in, little pig. I just want to talk. It has the same meaning, but are those words the same? Did I use every word I used the first time? If I didn't, then when I try and put those two clips together, they're not going to match very well. And if I want to take one part of one and the other part of the other, I can't, because the words weren't the same each time. So we have to be very careful on what we do. You have to make a draft of it. And what I mean by that is you need to sometimes see, oh, did I include everything in it? And if I didn't, how do I include it in? Did I use adjectives? Did I give enough stage direction? Did I have enough speech in it? In the example of the movie I'll make you, if I was redrafting it, I don't think I had enough speech in it. So there's one example. When you see my movie later on, they're going to go, oh yeah, maybe he could have added more. Tell me then even what type of speech I could have added. What few lines would have made it better and when to put them in. Because if they're not in the script, it's very hard to plan it on the day. And you can always add to a script. Even if you've everything written down and you want to add a little bit when you're out there, that's fine. Just write it down so that you don't forget it, and then you'll have it from then on. Filming. You must be ready to film, and that's why we do the first 3 steps. Can you remember what they were? An idea, a storyboard, and a script. If you have all of those ready, you're ready to film. But are you ready to start filming? Because you now need to go and collect all of your costumes. You need to collect all of your props. You need to have your characters ready. You need to make sure your location is ready, and you need to practice. Once you have all of that done, you can start filming. But this is why the filming is the easy bit, believe it or not. It's the rest of it that if you don't have the rest of it done, it won't be easy. If you do, it can be really easy, really fun, and really simple to do. You have to use a lot of different shots for a movie. And you must use your shot list as a checklist so you know what to do. If that doesn't make sense to you, that's fine. What you need to do is you need to check for my next video on the different types of shots used. The weather can be with you or against you. If it's a really sunny day, you can say, this is brilliant. Now we've got loads of sun, it's going to be great to be outside. And it will be lovely and warm. What about if you're running around all day? Are you going to get all sweaty? Is that a problem for your movie? Or what do you do if it's really windy? Where are you going to put your phone that it doesn't blow over? Also, when it's really windy, it's really hard to hear people. How are you going to stop that? These are all things you have to think of beforehand. If you're not sure, what you do is you watch my tips and tricks video and you'll find out. I know I'm telling you about lots of different videos, but this is because I've broken them into little parts and you do each one and you get better every time. Your camera must be in a safe place. If you leave it in the branch of a tree and it falls and the screen cracks, you're going to be really sad. And maybe the whole phone or tablet could break. So you have to think, where's the safest place to have it? Can you get someone else to hold it for you while you're filming? If you're going to leave it on the ground, make sure it's safe and it's not in a public place where someone could steal it, because we don't want anything like that to happen. We want to be as careful as we can. So always try and get help, and in that way you can keep the camera safe. What you see is what you get. What I mean by that is, if you're holding the camera like this and you're watching something like this, that's great. So I'm filming, but if I'm watching over the camera, I might be able to see more with my own eyes than the camera can see. Also the other way around, sometimes the camera can't zoom in or zoom out enough in a place. So you have to make sure you're always looking through the camera so that you know what is being filmed. So always watch what is on the screen to know what is being filmed. Do not zoom, do not pinch the screen and move it in, because if you do, you get rid of a lot of the quality, the pixels in the camera. They're all just little dots joined together that make this video or picture. And if you zoom, you lose the quality of it. So the best way you can do it is to zoom with your feet. What I mean by that is move in or move out. Stand up, sit down. That's how you zoom best. You move the camera to another position. Always keep your camera in landscape. So we have the camera this way, not that way. This way always, across. Next, keep the camera focus locked. I'll be showing you in the filming and editing what I mean by that, but all you do is you hold the middle of the screen when you're in the camera until you see a little box with AEAF lock on it. And that means the camera isn't jumping from place to place wondering what to zoom in on. For editing, these will be done on two separate apps. One is iMovie, which is for all Apple products, and the other one is Filmora Go, which is for all Android products. They are both free apps. They're very simple to use, very fun to use, and maybe some of you will have used them earlier. Again, there will be a separate video showing you what every button does, how to bring the different clips in, how to bring them together, how to cut little bits out, and how to make your movie as good as it can be. You can use multiple clips in one scene. So what I mean by that is, if I had a picture of me now, I could have this one picture of me in a clip with the camera coming from this angle. I could then have one across my shoulder showing me what's on the screen. I could have a close-up of just my eyes as I watch, or just my hands as I type on the keyboard, and then I could have one showing me the entire room with me sitting at the back of it. So there's lots of different angles we can use, and they're all very easy to bring them in together and make it look like it all happened at once. With these editing apps, you can do voiceovers, so you can talk over the video or what's happened in the video. You can add music, you can add filters, so you could have it in black and white, or you could have a special effect brought in. You can have it in slow motion. There's loads of different ideas and examples. All you have to make sure of is the device you're using has storage on it, that it has memory to save all of the different videos you're going to use. So again, what do? Choose an idea. We think of different things we can do with that idea. We brainstorm, we make our storyboard, write our script, write our shot list, and then we film and edit. And now we have our movie. So here's one idea of a place to start. Start with a story that everyone knows, like a fairy tale or a Disney story. So if I said The Three Little Pigs, and we're going to do something new with it, or we're going to brainstorm. So I'm only going to do one bit with it. I'm going to do the bit where the pig is in the brick house, let's say, because my house is made of bricks, and the wolf comes to the house. So I'm going to have the wolf outside and me inside. Now I'll have to make this by myself. So I'm going to have to use two costumes. One is going to be me as the wolf, and one is going to be me as the pig. If I don't have a wolf in a pig costume, what can I do? Well, I could pretend that I am the horrible teacher as the wolf, coming to give homework for all of the summer. And the pig is the poor boy in 4th class who just wants to play outside. So we could make a video on that. That's something new with it. Then I could have the teacher coming and knocking on the window saying, little boy, let me in. So I'm using the lines from the Three Little Pigs so that people can make the connection. And then the child can say, not by the hair on my head. But that doesn't sound too good, does it? Not by the hair on my head. Chinny chin chin sounds better. So what do? I have to think what would be a good line to use there. So I would need my script to be written. But all I'm doing is I'm focusing on that one bit. And I could have me on one side of the window outside and then come back to me on the inside as the two different characters. What shots will work well for that? Well, I'm going to have to use good shots that don't show the outside or inside when I'm in the other place, so I can't see there's anyone there if I'm doing it by myself. What resources do I have? Well, I could just have one of my school books as the teacher, and I could use my communion confirmation outfit, some suit that I could make myself look like a teacher, and I could put glasses on, not have glasses on, anything like that. And what locations can I use? I only need maybe a door or a window, and one inside and one outside that look a little bit different to each other. So that's one place to start. Another one is to make a video. This is how to kick a football into a bin, or this is how to bake brown bread. We have our 6 steps, so we have our 6 pictures in our storyboard. And it's not just kicking the ball in. How do I teach someone to do it? What part of the foot do I use? Am I going to kick it high or low? Do I kick it with the side of my foot or the front of my foot? How far away do I put the bin? If I put it nearer, do I have to change the type of kick? So there's lots of different things you think about in it. But it keeps your movie very simple. There's only one main idea in it, and it makes it easy to do. Once you've made those, obviously you can make whatever you want after that. Now, I've gone through this a little bit already, how to make a movie by yourself. You can use teddies, toys, different characters, anything you want. You can draw someone and have it beside you. You could use animation in it. You can dress up as different people. So I would go from this side as one person dressed up and this side as the other person dressed up. So when I'm talking like this, and now I'm talking like this. So if we bring the two of them together, it could make it look like it's 2 people talking at once. Using clever camera angles. If I do that, when I take the shot from this side, I don't want to see any of here to make it look like I'm there listening, and the other way. So in that way, we never know if the 2 people are together or not. You must be creative, you must be clever about it, and you must try and use your imagination to think, how can I suppose it's a kind of trick. How do I trick people into thinking I'm in 2 different places at once? Or you can use animation, which again is one of the next videos. So these are the videos or the webinars. Today was just a general explanation. The next one is ideas, followed by camera shots and angles. Then we have shooting and editing, animation, and the last one is tips and tricks. But I would ask you not to watch that until you've made 1 or 2 yourself, because I want you to try and think of the ideas. It's not cheating, but it makes it better for you. You will learn a lot more if you make a few mistakes and then you find out how to make them better. So I really hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.